Hello, everyone. Welcome back to David L. Boyd Field. Chris Goforth alongside Scott McMahon as we get you ready for tonight's high school rivalry between Boyd Buchanan and Notre Dame. Brought to you by EPB Fiber Optics. Make the smart move today. And Scott, as we take a look at some of the other games going on around the area tomorrow, got a couple of good games there. You've got McCallie against what is traditionally a very strong Siegel team, and then one game tomorrow that I look forward to following, Ray County and Walker Valley.
Yeah, the Ray County Walker Valley ought to be interesting. Ray County 2-0 out of the chute. I like the Ooltewah versus Tyner. Coach
Wayne Turner.
Wayne Turner at Tyner was absolutely pumped up about this season, and they've got a decent shot at going 0-3. Now, they've played three tough teams, and Ooltewah can put some points on the board as they did last week at Soddy Daisy, but that'll be an interesting matchup.
Talk about rivalries. How about Signal Mountain and Red Bank?
Oh, wow. And you know what? They've never played before, and that's what's so interesting. Hard to believe that 10 years ago there wasn't even a Signal Mountain High School. They've had so much success lately in football. Now they're going to go back to where all those kids used to go to school back in the day, and that's Red Bank to play what'll be a huge rival down the road. I'm not sure that'll be a great game this week, though.
Get out and support whoever your high school football team is tomorrow night. And if you don't have one, adopt one.
Yeah, why not, right?
Boyd Buchanan won the toss, so we'll see Jim Cardwell in this Buccaneer offense to start things tonight. And Scott, as we talked about Boyd Buchanan, you know, they get that emotional win, last-second field goal against Red Bank back in week 0 for a 43-41 win. And then since that game, they score 43 in week 0. The last 2 weeks, 18 points and 21 points. This offense has sputtered, and teams have been keying on stopping Jim Cardwell.
You know, you heard Coach Reynolds talk about how he just feels like they're inexperienced as far as a unit, and they just need more snaps. As they get into this season, maybe into October, they'll gel more, and really a big offensive night tonight could help them kind of start that ball rolling downhill.
Boyd Buchanan will send back deep to return the kick. Demarius Macon along with Austin Jackson to return the kick. Still waiting on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame to come racing out onto the field. Here they come. It's not exactly a race. It's more like that's a strut.
Is that the imitation? I think that's the intimidation walk right there.
So the Fighting Irish are on the field, and we're just about ready to get things started here. This Notre Dame defense, you heard Charles Fant say it when we talked with him earlier this week, and you heard it during the pregame. Feels like this defense is the strength of Notre Dame's team right now.
Yes, he has. And, you know, he mentioned Bo Campbell, who's their defensive coordinator, and he was a head coach at Chattanooga Central a number of years ago, so he's been on that side of the head coaching. He liked to go back to the coordinator where you can really focus on scheming up teams and coaching up players, and he has done that very well for Notre Dame so far this season.
He has indeed. One of those key statistics you always look at when it comes to teams is the turnover margin, and Notre Dame right now +4 in turnovers, so they're getting more than they're giving.
Yes.
Nick McGurl will be the one to kick off for Notre Dame as, again, Boyd Buchanan sends back Demarius Macon and Austin Jackson. A little hot, a little humid, but that's what you expect in the middle of September, right,
Sure.
Scott?
I think this weekend the temperatures are supposed to break, but they haven't done it yet. It is quite humid. They don't call this place the swamp for nothing.
Indeed. There's that end-over-end kick. And Austin Jackson will have it go through his arms into the end zone, bring it out to the 20-yard line. And here comes Jim Cardwell. And this Boyd Buchanan offense averaging 26 points per game. Cardwell, the 5'9", 180-pound senior quarterback, a 4-year starter, kind of took over midway through his freshman year and has been the Bucs' starting quarterback. All-state performer last year, 3,000 all-purpose yards. And Scott, his dad, Carter, if you followed local football here for a number of years, Carter Cardwell, formerly an assistant coach at UTC and
Chris,
Sewanee.
we like to say Jim is pound for pound the best football player in Chattanooga.
I don't think there's too much doubt about that, as Cardwell will roll and throw. Pass caught, first down. Demarius Macon popped out of bounds out across the 30-yard line.
And you can tell the tall, rangy receiver there, Macon, he is a junior and can do some things athletically. If Cardwell can get some time throughout tonight, he's going to be looking for Macon as much as possible.
Demarius Macon has been the go-to receiver for this Buccaneer offense. That was his 16th reception of the season, and he lines up wide now at the bottom of your screen as the Buccaneers of Boyd Buchanan are on the opening drive of the game. And the handoff goes Austin Jackson to the right. He gets to the 35.
You know, Jackson just kind of tripped over his own man's foot there. The offensive lineman had a little bit of a seam, but didn't quite have his feet pumping high enough to get over that initial trip.
We talk about Jim Cardwell and his dad, Carter Cardwell, being a coach. As a matter of fact, he's the offensive coordinator here at Boyd Buchanan. Well, Austin Jackson's dad is Stanley Jackson, who's a former coach at Brainerd.
Right.
This pass complete to Chris Lyon here on the near side, and Lyon knocked down for no gain.
It's kind of 2 degrees of Chattanooga. I guarantee you, someone has either played for or coached with someone else at pretty much every team around. That's why it's a tight-knit community, the high school football community in Chattanooga.
Well, and it's pretty amazing too, Scott, if you think about it. You know, we talked a minute ago about that 2003 team for Boyd Buchanan.
Right.
Look at all the coaches and head coaches, including Charles Fant and Grant Reynolds, that kind of sprung off that staff as this pass is incomplete on a 3rd down, and Boyd Buchanan faced with a 4th and 8, and the Bucks will have to punt.
That was a nice play defensively from Notre Dame. Looks like Tyler Enos broke that up, and at the linebacker position, he can make some plays, and we'll be calling his name a lot tonight, I have a feeling.
Notre Dame will send Kareem Orr back to return this kick. He is a speedster and a tremendous athlete when the ball is in his hands.
Chris, this kid is special. He can do a little bit of everything and is an athlete category, I believe. You'll see it right here. Probably has a defensive back future.
Orr gets a block, has the 30, 35. Gets outside to the 40, and he skirts out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. So good field position to start for the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame.
Run out of bounds there. Nice play just containing him on the kickoff. He's, like we said, he's got a lot of potential. He can break a touchdown run at any point in time. I wouldn't say he's Oregon fast, but he's Kareem Orr fast. How about that?
Few are Oregon fast,
That's true.
Scott. Very few. This is our first look at Clay Heltzel, the quarterback at Notre Dame. Heltzel played last year at fullback, and going into this year, that's where they thought that he would be, was a fullback. Alex Darris, the starting quarterback at Notre Dame, gets hurt in week 1, and Heltzel stepped in, and he's played very nicely. 24 of 49 passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 249 yards. Charles Fant was telling us this week, Scott, he hasn't played quarterback since the 7th grade. You wouldn't know it by the start he's gotten off to so far.
He's a gym rat. He's a basketball guy. Coach Fant said he gets there before the maintenance crew at Notre Dame. He's warming up, shooting baskets, and his athleticism shows, and we'll see that tonight too.
Here's the toss sweep into traffic across midfield and gets into Buccaneer territory, and there comes a flag that's been thrown late. That was Kareem Orr on the carry. We just talked about him. Orr a threat, both rushing and receiving. That's only his 5th rushing attempt of the season, and we've got a face mask penalty against the Buccaneers.
You know, they move Orr around and just trying to get him in space to be able to create stuff, whether it be at running back or wide receiver. They line him up at multiple places, and he is really their game buster when it comes to an offensive weapon.
Ball moves inside the Buccaneer 45, and it's 1st down and 10 for the Fighting Irish now. Notre Dame comes in 2-1 on the season. Lost in week 1 to Knoxville Catholic. They've won 2 straight. Screen thrown to the left, and a nice job by the Buccaneers and Chris Lyon there to immediately wrap him up and get him to the turf.
Nice play by Chris Lyon. The pursuit, the pass was really nice and complete, but when you get them on the ground immediately when they catch it with that short passing game, that's the benefit of quick defense.
It was the sophomore tight end and Tyler Enos that made the reception. Just his 2nd catch of the season. Actually lost about a yard there. 2nd down and 11. They'll run with Orr again. And a nice job by the Buccaneers. Good penetration by that Boyd Buchanan defensive front. And this is not the typical defensive front for Boyd Buchanan, Scott, that we've seen the last couple of years where they're really, really big. You know, there's not a 300-plus pound Malik Brewer up there for Boyd Buchanan. This group's a little bit smaller. That was Cameron Pope shooting through from a linebacker spot and making the tackle.
When you have these spread offenses now of today, you need that as defensive linemen not to be, 280, 300 pounds. They need to be quick enough to be able to react and move.
3rd down and 13. And we've got another whistle. And a flag, it looks like.
Yes, sir. It's like movement maybe offensively.
3rd down and long. 3rd and 13, and here comes a motion penalty against Notre Dame. So back them up a little more. Ball goes back to midfield now. Now it's 3rd down, about 3rd and 17, 3rd and 18. Scoreboard says 3rd and 18. We'll go with that.
That'll make you hurt. The 3rd and long, maybe even 3rd and longer coaches. That'll drive coaches crazy.
Notre Dame struggled a little bit on third down this season. They're 9 for 31. That's about 29%. Against the Buccaneer defensive front. Here's the handoff. Ricky Ballard to the right. He's knocked down again by the Buccaneers. Keebler in on the stop.
Keebler's been playing defensively really, really well early in this game. They come off, and it looks like that Notre Dame will set up for the punt formation.
So both teams have it one time, and both teams punt the football back. Boyd Buchanan will send Jim Cardwell. Not only does he start at quarterback, he starts at free safety. Oh, by the way, he returns punts for the Buccaneers as well. Back into punt formation, it's Chris Hornsby for Notre Dame.
Oh, he one-hops it too.
Gets it away, and Cardwell will let it roll, bouncing around the 15-yard line, and that's where it's downed. So Boyd Buchanan takes over, 1st and 10, and the Bucs start at their own 15-yard line.
Nice
Boyd Buchanan and
nice defensive stand there for Boyd Buchanan to start the game.
Bucs will have the ball when we come back. You're watching High School Rivalries, powered by EPB Fiber Optics. Make the smart move today.